Okay. Um, First of all, I think that this has been a long day, but I hope it's been a stimulating one, and that you've had a lot more fun and better memories than those who are afraid to go out in the snow. Uh, um, I, it seems to me pretty clear why, when we started the beginning of the day, Corey Lathan said that she looks forward to being a cyborg, because it seems, if we follow Ian Wickersham's view of our being fat and flabby, and that's already a horror of mine, um, uh, that we may need some augmentation as we go forward. I also think that there are several other things that we can conclude here. One is that we're going to need more of these kinds of conversations. And I would hope that they would happen everywhere, but they will certainly be happening as part of our Unleash Imagination program. So stay tuned for that. And I would hope that we might, in some of these next ones, look at a number of the issues that have been raised here that challenge our world going forward, and also, though, look at imagination in the workplace. We have here and we have elsewhere people who come uh, um, from industries, from companies, from endeavors that require imaginative thinking. But not every company that starts out, for example, entrepreneurial with great ideas is able to sustain that. So I think that as we go forward, we want to examine how society deals with the changes coming forward. I'm reminded of something a friend of mine told people who were struggling, frankly, with addiction. And we've heard that internet is an addiction, but perhaps more dangerous ones. He tells the story of someone who stepped off a cliff accidentally, and he had seen the cliff, and he was falling, and he got frightened. And this voice comes out of the blue and says, "Do you believe in God?" And he says, "No." And he falls further and further, and he gets closer and closer to the ground. And this voice says, "Would you like to change your mind?" And he says, "Yes." And the hand comes and catches him. Well, I don't know how quickly we're falling, if indeed that's the description, but we have plenty of time to prepare. If we imagine what those scenarios are that we need to prepare for. And I think we've gotten some very interesting ideas here. And one of those ideas, I would even say a conclusion, is that it's going to be very hard for us to effectively prepare for what could become a very different future if we don't include our young people as our co-collaborators. They know something that those of us who are in the workplace now don't know. They trust technology a way that we don't. They will be the drivers of the marketplace, the drivers of technology, the drivers of our social systems, not just here but around the world, and they're already thinking about it, as we learned earlier today. So that being the case, I encourage all of us to find ways of how to spread the word of what we're calling the imagination movement, so that we can not only say gee whiz about the things we're hearing, but can be actively preparing in every aspect of our life so that we're leading it rather than trailing it. Now, having said that, I'd like to get off of my soapbox and thank a bunch of people. I'd like to thank the people who are here and who have committed all day today to work with all of us, to talk to us. They've come very often from far distances. They don't It's not as though they don't have other things to do, but everybody who has been on this stage and in the Imaginarium, and I'm sure in the audience, is committed to a better future and has ideas for it. So thank you very much for that. If we get applause for everybody. I would also like to thank the people who have made this possible, and tonight, if you're at the dinner, I will make an effort to name some of you, but it takes a team, as we all know, to make something like this happen. And we've had an amazing team. And some of our volunteers, as I told our board, who said, "Oh, do we have people who are doing this?" We have some of the most expensive volunteers you can imagine. And we're grateful for you. But I also want to be sure to thank our sponsors, who without their support, both in kind and direct, this just couldn't have happened. I want to thank Qualcomm and the Washington Post, which has been our exclusive media partner, and have provided exceptional moderators and also information to others about this event. I want to thank Hughes, which is now an EchoStar company, and Hughes did these beautiful logos and all of our artwork, and has also contributed in other ways. Google, who has been stalwart with the Arthur C. Clarke Foundation. Thank you, Vint, and thank you, Google. Lynn Dugan and the Honorable Diana Dugan and Edward and Deborah Horowitz, both of whom are linked to the Clarke Foundation board, and those who have also contributed other amounts through tables and through other donations. And then, certainly not least, our program partners, the Arthur C. Clarke Center for Human Imagination at UC San Diego. You've seen just a centimeter of the great work that they're doing. Youth Service America, you heard from Steve Culverton, and Kid Museum, who captained the Imaginarium along with YSA and NASA. Thank you all very much. Right now, we have a break, or some of you can go home. Drive carefully, please, if you have registered to stay for this evening. In 15 minutes, back over where you had. I have no sense of direction, and this is round, so this is very difficult for me. But back over at the Marvin Center on the 3rd floor where you had lunch, we are having a reception. And then at 6:15, we will have a celebration dinner for Arthur C. Clarke Centenary. Thank you, everyone.